Hello, good morning, and welcome to the folk meditation. We're going to get started, and maybe a few others will join us as we go. We have Benjamin Gardner here today to share sound and visual compilation he put together. We'll hear a couple. If your camera's on, you can feel free to turn it off to sit comfortably or lie or stand, however you best meditate. So I'll turn it over to Ben.
Start by focusing your breathing. Breathe in through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Let the sounds come through your body, starting at your ears. touching the back of your eyes, rolling down your neck and to your shoulders, down your arms, and through your fingers. And other sounds travel down your spine, into your hips, through your legs, past your knees, and exit through your feet into the ground that you are standing on. Allow your mind to hear the different sounds, and focus on different parts of this meditation. it's time to open ourselves up. Opening ourselves to the things that will happen today. And tomorrow. And for days to come. I would like to be receptive to the good things that are around me and that are coming, even though I might not recognize them at the time. We are here, and all is well.
All right. That was the end of what I would have been calling super meditation, or a composition like that, where I made musical tracks sort of with MIDI instruments, digital instruments, and physical instruments to try to create this sort of space, this mental space. You know, thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm happy to answer questions if people have questions, but I'm also happy to share another shorter meditation. The album, I compiled a bunch of these on an album, and there's 2 longer meditations that are guided, but then there's also shorter meditations that are just audio, and I kind of keep going back and forth to seeing if which one works better, but I think I kind of like the mixture of both, in that I can have, like, you could just listen to an audio only one, and then you know, as you're taking a walk, or as you're sort of driving in a car, even, I guess maybe it's dangerous to meditate while you're driving in the car, but and then the longer ones would be if you have more more time to sort of focus on things. And I see Rachel asked a question, what inspired me to make this album? I think in some ways it's a whole, like a bunch of different things converging at once. And then I emailed Emily to see if Yellow Door would be game for this, because it felt like a crazy idea at the time and it still feels a little strange. But I have had on one level, I've had a hard time connecting with what I think of as the aesthetics of meditation as they're presented to us most of the time, in the sense that I think generally you feel like you have to be in the right mind space, meaning that you can't have like any negative thoughts. You have to be surrounded by like white in your room, and your clothes have to be linen and white, and you have to sit in lotus position, and you have to listen to Enya in the background, I think. And so I've kind of wanted to sort of break away from that a little bit, which is one of the reasons I'm calling it folk meditation, is that I feel like I wanted to connect to multiple different sort of musical types as being conducive for meditation, and thinking about things in a more open way, rather than having sort of the way that meditation is portrayed to us and just accepting that as like what I should be doing, instead of doing it the way that I would want to do it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that helps Rachel at all, but that's the meditation level. And at the same time, I started thinking about how these musical forms, these genres and musical forms that I've always been really interested in, sort of worked together and sort of overlapped, had more in common than what I had originally thought. And just to give an example, like I did a lot of work. I had a really great ethnomusicology teacher at Millikan in undergrad, and one of the things that he introduced me to was Indonesian gamelan music, which is a gong and like chime orchestra. So I spent a lot of time with gamelan music, but then also I've always been really interested in early American music too, like shape note singing. And I just thought that I had those separate interests. You know what I mean? And I had never visualized or thought about how they could overlap. And then all of a sudden, when I started thinking about these meditations and the type of music or the history of music that I would be involved in or use, I just started to see some similarities between gamelan, which is like chimes and sort of marimba-like instruments, and gongs that work in a circular pattern. So it's a cycle that keeps going around and around. And then shape note singing, which has a really definite cadence. It's sort of like up and down, up and down, up and down. And that those two things started to overlap with me, along with sort of like ambient, like electronic music that's more ambient or drone or things like that. And thinking about all those things are, and how they sort of could overlap to provide some sort of like sonic meditation space. Are there secret sources you used in your recordings? That is a great question, because one of the things that is funny to me, but I don't know that anybody else notices, in the one we just listened to, there's a breathing track. There's a track of me breathing, which is creepy, but I still feel like it helps sort of set the rhythm. But then if you listen with headphones, you can hear, because I've been wearing my son Sam during the day so he takes a nap, and I've recorded most of this music and the audio tracks and the spoken word tracks while I was wearing him sleeping. So there's sometimes when I'm talking, if you listen really closely and have headphones on, you can hear Sam snoring too, which is not. It's just like how the track was made. You know, it's part of the process. Other Rachel chatted secret baby sounds exactly. But it is like it's funny too because it's kind of perfect in some ways, right? Like it's we always used to feel it when we would foster animals and we would like hold a cat. You hear a cat purring and it like instantly lowers your blood pressure. I think for like it's the same for holding Sam. You know, it lowers my blood pressure when I'm wearing him and holding him too. So yeah, I don't know if that helps clarify a little bit, but since taking on this project, I've learned about all these other people that are interested in things like this. Like there's a person named Pauline Oliveros who's a pioneer. I think most people would call her an electronic music pioneer. I'll type her name in the chat too, just so everybody can see. And she's done a lot of really interesting compositions and patented something called deep listening. So she's somebody that I've just started looking into in relationship to this. And then another person, Robert Morgan, I believe is his name, who patented, I don't know why everybody patented these things, but patented hemisync sounds, which I've listened to a few of those. And hemisync stands for hemisphere synchronization. And essentially, so it's like sounds that are, you wear headphones and you get a sound on the left ear and a sound on the right ear, and it's supposed to link your brain together for more sort of effective thinking. So those are some of the people that I've kind of been looking into lately too, in regards to that's sort of developed out of this mode of making. And two, I guess I shouldn't deny, or I mean, maybe it's obvious to say, but I think we've all been struggling to find ways to keep making things amidst COVID and other things that are going on. You know what I mean? It's just kind of strange times. So I think this is strange for me to make and present this as artwork, but I feel like it's a product of the times too, where I'm struggling to find ways to make things for people that is readily accessible and can sort of get to everyone. So my mom, Mary, asked were there some sounds like Native American music too. So that's actually the shape note singing, and it sounds like it because it's 2 tracks of shape note singing. I'll type that into just in case anybody wants to look it up. It's I don't know a lot about the history of it. It's still done some places in the United States, but the best known recording that I have of it is called The Sacred Harp, which is Alan Lomax recorded it for Smithsonian Folkways, and I think I purchased it on Bandcamp too, the album for The Sacred Harp, but it's pretty readily available. But it's because it was 2 tracks of shape note singing, it was 2 different songs being sung at the same time. It kind of has that, but the shape note singing has that cadence that we would like equate with Native American singing or like powwow dancing, powwow like ceremonial music too. Feel free to keep asking questions, and I'm more than happy to talk about this more too. But I'm gonna try to set up the one more shorter meditation if that's okay with everybody. So this is just to give it a little preamble, this is on Vimeo. This is just a short video I made. I think when it really comes down to it, I'm kind of interested in audio, visual, and even text, and how they work together in art pieces. So this got this funny like record label that I made up, and then I'm releasing things on Bandcamp under. But the video and the audio track kind of work together well, I think. But you could just use the audio by itself. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. And
Yeah, thank you, Ben. That was awesome. Are we going to, or are you planning on doing any more, or are they going to be publicly available at any time if we need more meditation in our lives? What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I put them out on Bandcamp, which I can pull up the link to real quick. But if you search Benjamin Gardner on Bandcamp, it should come up. So I'm putting them up. I'm kind of using the model of these old records that I've found over the years that are like treasuries of something. So I have like a treasury of Western music, treasury of, I think I have one of like a treasury of like Jewish folk songs or something like that. So I'm
Awesome.
releasing these albums as treasuries of folk meditation, volume 1 is this first one. So sorry if I interrupted you there, Emily.
No, I was just saying thank you for sharing, and it's nice to know that they'll be made available, and thanks to those who were able to join us today. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah,
Maybe in person. It'd be pretty cool to have an in-person meditation.
Yeah, I would love to set something up in person for sure.
We'll have to keep our mind on that as time goes on. And Rachel, thank you for all you've done for Art Week.
Yeah, thanks for Art Week too.
Join us tomorrow. Ben's going to do a live reading along with the cabin, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, the read-along book.
Cool. All right. Any other questions, things? See you tomorrow is right. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Take care.